Practical jokes. Not the one you're thinking of, though. When I was working on Almost Human, I had this fantastic driver, and very great guy, and he was a huge practical joker. And the whole thing started off quite innocently. He got some kind of horrible Wolfman mask, and then jumped into the makeup trailer and was like, "Ah!" and scared all the makeup girls. They screamed. And he thought it was hilarious. And then he tried to get me like a day later, but he was kind of stuck underneath my trailer because I was going up, and I sort of saw his shoes from a mile away, and then he was under there going, "Argh!" And then he got stuck and he couldn't quite get out. And that was the first of his epic fails. Every time he tried, he just failed epically. You know, and he would do things like I would come out on set, and I've been on set 6 days a week and 16 hours a day, and I come out and I go to put my pants on, and I can't find them. They're in the freezer. And it's winter, there's snow outside. You know, I would come out and hop into my car. I drove sometimes. And to go home, and I would grab the handle of the door and go, and there's honey. There's a sticky honey all over it. So what I did, there's this period where it didn't rain for ages, and I went up to his car when he wasn't looking, and he was always looking. And I got peanut butter, and I just sort of put it in the grooves of his window shield wipers. And I waited. And it didn't rain for days. And then he was out and about, and it rained, a torrential downpour. And the way he tells it, and I'm laughing, the way he tells it is he's sitting in the car, he flicks the window wipers on, and the whole screen goes milky. He can't see, so he has to get out of the car in the torrential rain and try and wipe it off. That was a goodie. And that was just the beginning. I mean, it just kept on going from there. A good one was, so we were in the last sort of week or so of production, and I waited for. I sort of been sowing the sort of seed, and I said, "Oh, I've got to return my rental car." And he goes, "Oh yeah." And every day I, hop in, I'll return my rental car. And he goes, "I'll do it for you." And then he says, "Oh, should we do it today?" I went, "Nah, let's not do it today." I waited for a rainy day. And what I'd done was I had driven the car around till the gas was on empty. I mean, really empty. And then I coasted it down in my apartment block and parked it. So he goes and he hops in the car, and then he gets it to the top, and he's driving along downtown, bumper traffic in Vancouver. And it stalls, so he has to get out in the rain and go and find gas. And you guys are thinking, man, you're a... But let me tell you a bit about this guy. He did this one trick where it was a day where I was driving myself, and I pulled into the parking lot, and there's a cone, like a parking cone, right in my spot. And I get up there, and I was distracted with something, but obviously I intended to get out and get it. Just as I'm about to get out of the car, one of the makeup ladies comes out and goes, "Oh, I'll get it," and she goes, and I see, watch this, she goes to pick it up, and she's like, I'm in the car, and I know exactly what's happened. He's put something on the cone, honey or something. But here's the thing, here's the twist with this guy, which is going to mitigate any feelings that you have against me right now. He was filming it in a van with black windows, and he saw her go to the cone. He didn't jump out and go and say, no, stop. He just kept on filming it. And then we sat around and laughed at the video. But yeah, do you want to hear more of this? So there was this other one where We used to play in my trailer. We used to play Wii golf, and so I came back up from set one day, end of the day, and he's in there playing Wii golf, and I get dressed, and I go and get my boots, and I put them on, and I had a bad feeling. I should have listened to it. I put them on, and it was like, what's that? And I pull my foot out of the boot, and all of a sudden, poof, white powder I'm not kidding. My whole trailer is filled with white powder. He had gotten not from Colombia. He had gotten a fire extinguisher with a dry powder fire extinguisher and filled my boots with this powder. He is like laughing and laughing and laughing, and he's like runs out, and I'm like, you know, if you imagine the cartoon character that turns bright red and the steam is out, that's what's going on in my head, because he has got me, and he has got me good. Because by this stage, I'm coming in and I'm checking everything, and you know, I had a bag of mangoes, dried mangoes. He'd come in and he'd put chili in them, you know, chili flakes. So I'm sitting there and I'm eating the dried mangoes one day. I'm like, don't let him see it. I'm like, damn, these are good. Did you chili these? These are good. You should try it. I got him to eat one. But anyway, back to my story. So he runs out into the sort of the circus, which is this sort of, you know, where all the trailers and the, you know, makeup trucks are all parked, and he's laughing and laughing, and he calls members of the crew over to come and look at what he's done to me. And literally, I'm hanging out of my trailer trying to get air because this powder is just flowing out the door. And then I see that right by my door there's a fire extinguisher. And I'm like, oh, you got me good, you got me really good. And then I duck in the door, and I grab the fire extinguisher, and I pull the pin, and I'm waiting for it. And then I've got my boots, and I'm like, you know, I'm dusting them out. Oh, you got me good, you got me. And then so he comes back, and I can hear him getting closer and closer, and he's laughing, and then I just whip out, and he's at point blank range, and I get him, and he's like, ah! And he's like, there's just this plume of fire extinguisher, fire retardant around him. But unbeknownst to me, Michael Ealy had come and joined him. He'd just gotten changed, and he was in his brand new duds because he was going out to dinner. He's like, and it's all in his eyes, and he's like, man, I didn't sign up for this shit. Both of them were not happy with me. It's like, you know, have you heard of crossing the line? I crossed it. Because he got a mouthful of it. And he was feeling ill for days. Apparently, he tells the story that after he dropped me home that night, and there was a very silent road trip home. He went from hero to zero. He had to pull over and vomit. He was feeling that ill. So, pranks. I love pranks. Thank you for your question.